Hey everybody, last lesson for the day, Learning with Little Twee. I'm Mrs. Hill. It's Monday, May 18th. We're doing day 34 lessons, and it's going to get interesting. So we have some science, and we're going to be learning about matter. Now, I'm going to be doing a demonstration for you with toothpaste. Why don't you guys watch my demonstration? And then if this is something that you're allowed to do at home as well, then the only materials you'll really need are toothpaste and water and maybe like a little plate. But if you're not going to do this at home, then you really can just watch and you don't need anything at all. All right, guys, so you don't have any materials to gather. Let's get started.
All right, let's get started. So the topic for today in science is matter, and we're specifically going to be focusing on how matter can have different properties and how it changes. Now, here's the deal, guys. I don't think we had a lot of opportunities to talk about this at school, so this might be a new topic for several of you. So I was thinking that we should probably watch a video or so to get a little more information about matter and its properties before we do this little experiment. So let's go ahead and
Hey, what's matter? No, not what's the matter. Obviously, since you're here with me, you're pretty awesome at the moment. You might have heard that everything is made of matter, and that's true. You, soccer balls, iPads, even your pet Fluffy, all made of matter. So that's interesting. But what is matter exactly? The scientific answer is matter is anything that has weight and takes up space. You already know about weight, right? That's just how heavy something is. Like if you ever been to a doctor's office, the first thing they do is have you stand on the scale so they can measure how much you weigh. As for taking up space, another way of thinking about it is that all matter has volume. It simply fills the area it's in. When you pour water into a glass, for example, the water's volume is the amount of space that it takes up in the glass. So all matter has volume and weight. But it sure doesn't all look the same. Well, that's because matter comes in different forms, or states. Liquids are a state of matter that I'm sure you're familiar with. If you've ever poured yourself a drink while trying to watch TV, you might have noticed that liquids take up space, because once the space inside your glass is full, right on the carpet. Sorry, Mom. You also know that water has weight if you carry a water bottle. As you drink from it, it gets lighter because you're removing water from it. Solids are matter too, of course, probably the most obvious kind. Rocks are solid, and so is ice, which is just solid water. Soccer balls are solid, iPads, your pet Fluffy, and every single guy in One Direction. And just like rocks, all those things have weight and take up space. Now, you know what's weird? Sometimes matter can't be seen or felt, but it's there. Like the air we breathe. Air is an example of gas, the third main state of matter.
All right, there is so much more that you can learn about matter, including that section she was about to do on gas, but we've got to keep learning about some of these words. So this video is going to teach us a little bit about the properties of matter.
Let's say my friend and I have just gone to a birthday party, and we each got a gift bag that's full of candy. And my friend makes me an offer, one that I can't refuse. She says I can have any one piece of candy in her bag, but I can only take it without looking. Now, say I'm into gummy frogs. They're my thing. That's what I want. Fortunately, I have a secret. A science secret. When I reach into the bag, I can use the properties of the candy to help me guess. If I want a gummy frog, I'm gonna feel around for something that's kind of small, squishy, and, you know, frog-shaped. But how else can we use this idea? I mean, in other non-candy related contexts. Does it work on school supplies? Breakfast cereals? Hardware? I mean, what exactly can we tell about an unknown substance by its properties? We already know that a substance is matter that's made of one kind of atom or molecule, and that has specific properties, and that some substances are Say we have two unknown substances. Both look the same, kind of whitish and powdery. How can we tell them apart? Now would be the time to go over a truly important scientific rule. No tasting. Ever. Right, since that's out, what should we do? Think back to our picnic. Remember what we tried to do with sand and with sugar? We tried to see which dissolved in water. So if we took a spoonful of each unknown substance and tried to dissolve it, the one that dissolved would be the sugar. One of the properties of sugar is that it dissolves in water. Sand, as anyone who's been in the ocean will tell you, does not dissolve in water. It just gets into our bathing suits. But now it's time to level up. This time we'll look at two mystery objects that are totally hidden from view. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to find out which one is metal. If we use our sense of touch, we can tell that object A is not very flexible. It doesn't flex or give when I press it. Object B, on the other hand, is pretty malleable. It squishes when I touch it. Ew. So far, we can make the guess that A is metal, but in science, the more evidence, the better, because malleability, or the ability to change shape, is actually a property of some softer metals. So we need more data. Let's bring in our trusty magnet. As you can probably see, because I can't, object A seems to be attracted to the magnet, while B isn't. So, object A has the properties of being hard and being attracted to the magnet. So we're going to guess that it's the metal. And we're right. Object A is a big old nail and B is, hey, my gummy frog.
All right, I hope those videos helped you a little bit. I know it had a lot of really big vocabulary words. Those are actually really interesting things to learn about, and you can definitely dig into that more. I just was trying to give you a little bit of the basics. Okay, so we are talking about matter, properties, and change. This is a toothpaste experiment. It says, with adult permission, squeeze an inch of toothpaste on a plate. Draw what it looks like. Record its physical properties using words. So the physical properties would be like the color, the smell, texture. We talked about texture, the shape, if it has a particular shape. Add a few, okay, actually, before we go to the next part, let's go ahead and do that first part. And we're gonna do it together just in case you're not allowed to do this alone at home. So I squeezed a little bit of toothpaste onto this plate right here. So we're going to make some observations about the properties of this toothpaste. Now I know that you guys can't smell it, but I will tell you right now, actually a little tweet will tell you, it smells like strawberries because it is actually strawberry toothpaste. But what does it look like? What do you notice? What color is it? It is white, right? Now, not all toothpaste is white, but this toothpaste is white. So it's white. It smells like strawberries. It doesn't have a particular shape. It could be in whatever shape I squeeze it in. So when I squeezed it, it kind of came out in this little blob with a tail. But toothpaste can really be made into any shape, right? It doesn't have a specific shape. Like this marker has a specific shape. It's always going to stay in this shape. What about texture? Texture is something we talked about last week. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and stick my finger in this toothpaste. It might be a mistake, but before I do that, what do you think the texture is going to be like? I have a prediction. Let's see. Ew, okay, so it's wet and gooey and a little sticky, and now my fingers are covered in toothpaste. All right, guys. Now, if you have an adult helping you or an older sibling helping you, and you are allowed to do this, you may. So what you'll do is just squeeze a little bit of toothpaste in the plate and then observe the physical properties. So my toothpaste is white, smells like strawberries, and is a little gooey and sticky, and doesn't have a particular shape, but your toothpaste might be totally different than mine. Maybe it's colorful and maybe it's minty. It probably will have a similar texture, but if you are able to, you can pause the video and go ahead and discuss some of the properties of the toothpaste and then come on back because we have another step to this experiment. So go ahead and pause the video. All right, now it says, add a few drops of water to the toothpaste and record your observations. Did the water soak into the toothpaste? Now use a spoon to mix the water and toothpaste. Record your observations. Did anything change? Well, let's give it a try. You guys ready? So I'm going to do it first, and then if you guys want to do it later, you can. So it says to add some water to the toothpaste. Okay. Now, to me, it looks like the water, oh, I see a bubble. Do you guys see? Ooh, do you see that there's a couple bubbles? There's a bubble right there, and there's a bubble right there. So our substance did change a little bit when we added water, right? Now it says, did the water soak into the toothpaste? To me, it looks like it mostly kind of rolled right off. Like I can tell the toothpaste is there and the water kind of dripped to the side. That's what it looks like mostly to me. But I do see that the toothpaste did change a little bit. It has a couple bubbles in it now. So it says, now use a spoon to mix the water and toothpaste. Well, guess what, guys? I don't have a spoon right now, but I do have my finger. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it up. I'm mixing up my water and my toothpaste. All right, so it's definitely looks like it has spread out. It's gotten thinner, and if I look at it on my finger, it's kind of foamy now. It's a little foamy now. Do you guys notice that? It's spreading out, it's thinner, it's foamy, and since it's thinner, it can like, it's coating my finger, like it's covering up the whole thing. See? Before, when I touched the toothpaste, it was just in one spot. Now it's like covered up my whole finger. Okay, so what did you guys observe? How did the toothpaste change? How did the properties of the toothpaste change when we added water? Why don't you go ahead and whisper that to little Tweet? How did the toothpaste change? Okay, if you guys are doing this experiment at home, now if you're not, that's fine. You can just watch me do it. But if you are allowed to do this at home and you have an older sibling or an adult to help you, or at least permission from an adult to do this, you can go ahead and add a little bit of water and mix it together and see what you observe. So you may pause the video and go ahead and do that. Okay, so what did you guys notice? If you did that on your own, did you notice any changes in the toothpaste when you added water? I wish I could see what everybody did. Now, after you do that, it says clean up, and I actually already washed my plate, but anytime you do any sort of learning, and especially science experiments, it's really important to clean up after yourselves, right? Because that's helpful for your family to make sure you're cleaning up after yourselves. So I want you to make sure you clean up when we're all done, okay? But here it says, discuss with an adult why we might put water on our toothpaste when we brush our teeth. So think about what we saw with the toothpaste. When we just had the toothpaste on the plate without the water, it was pretty thick, right? It was pretty thick. And then what happened when we put the water on it, and why would it be good to add water when we're brushing our teeth? What do you think? Do you have any ideas? Maybe whisper to little Tweet if you have an idea. Interesting. So what I'm thinking is that by putting water on the toothpaste, it makes the texture a little bit thinner and a little bit more liquidy, so it can spread out over all your teeth and cover your teeth a little bit better. Instead of being like thick and goopy and just covering parts of your mouth, it can kind of coat your teeth as you brush it on and get in between your teeth. And I know adding water helps it bubble a little bit too, and we definitely want those foamy bubbles in there to help get our teeth clean. All right. I'm not a tooth expert or a toothpaste expert, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that that's why we would add water to our toothpaste based on what we saw in our little experiment. Okay, then our very last thing, it says, don't forget to brush your teeth today and every day. And remember, you should be brushing your teeth at least twice a day. We had a special visitor come to school to teach us all about the importance of brushing our teeth and taking good care of our teeth. All right, guys, well done.